Good evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to another episode of the Flexin Nerd Podcast.
Welcome.
The same guys as always, Zach and Corey here with you. We got a lot to cover this week. The finals they're different. I didn't expect exactly what happened, but the finals are going on right now. It's pretty interesting. Before we start, though, Corey doesn't know I'm going to do this, by the way. This is going to be interesting. Last week, we talked about team to go 82-0, and we built our imaginary starting five and bench players to see if we can get it, right? My friend here picked Amari Stoudemire on his team to go 82-0, and that upset me on a personal level. I literally all week went through and I found players who I felt would do a better job. They're all in 2K, and they all average more points per game than Amari Stoudemire. Here's the list of players I think you should have put at power forward ahead of Amari Stoudemire. Are you ready for this?
I feel so bamboozled right now.
Well, hold on to your pants, folks. Here we go. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, Karl-Anthony Towns, Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, Kristaps Porzingis, Karl Malone, Kevin McHale, Chris Webber, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, Sean Kemp, Dwight Howard, Elvin Hayes, Dominique Wilkins, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Joel Embiid, Patrick Ewing, DeMarcus Cousins, Wilt Chamberlain, KG, and Bernard King. Literally any one of those would have been better than Amari Stoudemire. That was, in case you lost count, 26 other players.
I don't have anything to say.
All right, and now back to our regular scheduled programming. Do you have an excuse?
No, I don't have an excuse. My team was terrible. That's all I got to say.
I literally spent hours Googling players.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was frustrated.
My team was awful.
Amari Stoudemire, I couldn't believe. My aunt, shout out to you if you're listening. She texted me and goes, I thought I was missing somebody important, like Amari Stoudemire. He has to be good. And then she just texted me, nope. I actually laughed out loud at work. Anyway,
my bad.
So
I apologize.
A lot of finals games have been covered since last we were on. I think they've played 3 more games now. I think it was tied 1-1.
No, I think the Raptors were up 2-1.
No,
right?
the Raptors were up 1-0, I think, last time we recorded.
Yeah.
They've played 4 games. It's gone back and forth. We'll start with Game 2, a little coverage of Game 2, because we have a lot to talk about in Game 3, in my opinion. Game 2, I think this is right after you said DeMarcus Cousins was going to be crap in the series. You were like, he's useless or whatever, and he had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks in a win. Was instrumental in them coming in back and winning that game.
All right, what's he done the rest of the series, though?
Shh. Hey.
I'm pretty sure he had, 6 points last night?
And
really
one
balling out of control.
Listen, he was tired. He hadn't played a game
He
hasn't played a game in a month.
Tired of being trash is what he should be.
Listen.
Anyways, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
Anyway, so Game 2, the Warriors win. They came out and opened up the third quarter on an 18-0 run. 20 points actually going back into the second quarter. They scored the last 2 points, came out firing, and it just was over from there. So Game 2 went to the Warriors. That was Clay got hurt in Game 2?
Yeah.
Or he get hurt in Game 3?
No,
I think he got hurt at the end of Game 2, right?
Yeah, he didn't play at all in Game 3.
So Game 3.
So here's the thing before we even talk about this. People I know what they're going to say, that everyone wants to say, oh, it was just Steph, it's just... This is what they get, though.
Okay, we're going to get to that. We need to talk about the game first before
All right.
I have so much anger in my heart, it's not healthy. I need to get it out.
Well, that's what this is for.
So
that's what this is for.
The Raptors played unbelievably in Game 3. All 5 starters had at least 17 points.
I like that.
That's a team
effort. That is a team effort.
It's a basketball team. Is a team game.
Team.
That's interesting. That's how that works sometimes. Let's see. The Warriors, I think, only had 4 players going double digits all of the whole game.
Well, yeah, when you got guys chucking up shots, of course.
I think Steph. Obviously, Steph had a great game. He had 47 points. Yeah. He had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He had a good game. He had a really good game.
Big game.
His team still lost. That's interesting.
Doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. Actually, I want to look. It says here the Warriors had no Clay and no KD and still had 3 All-Stars on the court. They had DeMarcus Cousins, Steph, and Draymond Green. Don't give me this...
By himself?
Okay, see, I actually... it was on First Take. Molly, whatever her name was.
Here we go.
Said the question was, do you feel bad for Steph Curry?
No, I don't.
I'm trying not to say the horrible words I want to say. I almost lost my ever-loving mind. feel bad for Steph Curry. So let me get this straight. He had, he was by himself. He had no Clay, no KD. He still had Draymond Green, who's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. DeMarcus Cousins, who, while injured or whatever, is still one of the most talented big men in the NBA, skills-wise. He has a Hall of Fame coach. And, I don't know, Andre Iguodala was a Finals MVP. Yet now, man, it might be a hollow. Yes, in Game 3. He played. So they're like, he had no help. He was by himself. Get out of my face with that garbage.
Get out of here.
Because let's talk about somebody having no help. Matthew Dellavedova played with LeBron, and Jose Calderon played with LeBron James the year that he lost the first time to Golden State. And he had no Kyrie and no Kevin Love, and he put up the most points, the most rebounds, the most assists, the most steals. He led in every statistical category for all 3 teams and won 2 games. That's no help.
Right.
Because literally nobody else showed up. Steph Curry, it's not that he had no help, it's that his help didn't play well. There's a difference.
Yeah.
And LeBron's coach's name was David Blatt. Okay? Not Steve Kerr, who is going to have 10 championships. 5 as a player and 5 as a coach. That's ridiculous. Now, granted, he might not get his 10th. But anyway.
Not this year. I don't think.
I think...
I think the series is over.
Because of Game 4, which we will cover in a second. I really need to get that off my chest because people literally feeling bad for Steph Curry doesn't make any sense.
No, it's pathetic.
These
are the same people that'll turn around and shit on LeBron for what he did in this finals.
LeBron.
He's crying because he didn't have any help. But yet you can't coddle Steph Curry and then.
But Steph Curry looks like a little kid.
I understand because he's like your average Joe. LeBron James does not look like your average Joe.
Well, not exactly.
LeBron James is a freak.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best possible way. He's a 6'8" guy, 250 plus, but he moves like a point guard. Steph Curry just looks like a dude you could pass down the street. And
Correct.
He looks like he would work in the office. I understand the love for him. But at the same time, no, I don't feel bad for him at all. This is what you get for what you've been doing to the NBA for how long now?
Yeah, a long time.
You know what I mean? I don't feel bad for you.
But this is what you're supposed to do. Your team is missing players. You're supposed to ball out and win the game.
This is your team.
I can't express to you.
You're supposed to load it up and fucking run with it.
I was so spitting mad. I was furious. The words I'm trying to be better at swearing. Cause
anyway. No, I understand the frustration level because it's ridiculous.
Somebody else said something literally made me so upset. Kendrick Perkins on Colin Cowherd's show said,
"Here we go.
Steph missed Clay more than KD because Steph had to play defense." Excuse me? You're an NBA freaking point guard. Of course you have to play defense.
Yeah. What? Arguably, your job is probably harder than most positions on the floor.
Because you have to play point guard, and that's a tough position. Cry me a river.
Yeah.
I had to play defense because my all-star point guard or shooting guard wasn't there to play defense. You better man
you play in the NBA, you're supposed to play both ways.
Everybody.
It's not like football where you play one side of the ball.
The garbage that came out of that game, the stuff with the owner pushing the player.
Oh, by the way, I want to talk about that. $500,000 and he's banned for a year.
He's a
billionaire.
Not $9 billion. I actually got a report. I got a text message from my phone. After they fined him $500,000, I got a text message that said he pulled up to the NBA office in his Rolls Royce and dug the change out of the seats and paid with that.
Yeah.
What do you mean $500,000?
Paid it all in nickels.
Now,
there is no reason he should have touched Kyle Lowry, right?
Literally zero.
He didn't hit him.
Nope.
The seat next to him was empty.
Yes.
That's where he went.
Yeah.
And if anybody had any reason to hit him, it would have been the guy on the other side.
But it was actually a lady, and she was up getting a drink or something. And when she came back, she happened to be in between the two of them. And so the thing that... So I felt the same way. I still think the suspension and the fine was not enough.
No.
However, I will go back on... My initial thought was ban him.
Forever?
Yes. But I will go back on that because would you ban a player in the same... If my reaction would be if a player... just push the fan for no reason, I'm like, whoa, a year or a full lifetime ban seems aggressive. You know what I mean? I think they did the right thing, the commissioner, because you can't make him sell the team or his ownership of the team. That has to come. No, the owners did that to Donald Sterling. The owners can make him get out at the end of the year or whatever.
Okay. So, which I think they should do.
I agree
because there's no reason you should ever put your hands on a player.
And
The only reason you should ever is if they start touching you, and that's just self-defense. Then you're just two people.
Which is why, like, if Kyle Lowry would have snapped and swung on the guy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then, like, they were talking to Steven Jackson, of all people, about it. And
that's funny.
Steven
Jackson said, yeah, lucky it wasn't me, because I would have hit you.
100%.
And
in the
Lowry,
heat of the moment.
And that's the terrible part about it is, if he would have hit him, Lowry would have been the bad guy.
Correct.
And that's terrible, because there's no reason, he had no reason. And it was a girly shove. Can we talk about that for a minute?
I mean, he only reached over with one arm.
Well, who cares? Like, if you're going to shove somebody, you don't love tap them. I mean, make it count. Make the $500,000 push count, you know what I mean?
If you're going to do it, you might as well do it.
And in the moment, I understand he probably didn't think about the repercussions, but still, there's no reason you should touch that man like that.
And you're an owner. You should know better than that.
You know what could happen sitting in the front row.
If
you go to an NBA game and you don't know, then you don't deserve to be in the front row.
Not only if you don't know, if you buy the ticket for $30,000, it says on the back.
Does it?
What the risks are. Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
I only know that because LeBron said it.
Yeah, well, even then. Yeah, and I like how everyone's coming to Lowry's defense. Like, there's no reason that you should have touched him. And there isn't. There's no reason.
No excuses.
You shouldn't have put your hands on him. Anyway.
And they said he was contrite or whatever. Anyway, so Game 4.
Contrite.
Game 4. Toronto won, and they now have a 3-1 lead. I am one game away from being a Kawhi Leonard fan.
Listen, I said it to you, I texted it to you.
Yeah.
If Kawhi Leonard beats the Warriors, and I'm not saying he did it by himself, because in no way he did, because Siakam came out of
Pascal Siakam,
freaking nowhere, and Van Fleet, yeah, and everybody else really stepped up.
Some defense.
I definitely, if he beats. Not only if he's a part of the team that beats the Warriors and he's the team to beat the Heat, he might be my favorite player in the NBA right now.
Listen.
He beat LeBron, so you know how I feel about that. Love that. And then if he beats the Warriors and he's the main reason why
the Warriors lose,
because he hands down wins Finals MVP.
Oh, it's not even close.
Not even close.
I feel like even if it wasn't as close. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if it was close, they'd still give it to Kawhi.
Oh, they have to. Well, that's not necessarily true. Because remember that year that the Warriors beat the Cavs, and it clearly should have went to LeBron James. They were like,
but LeBron,
here you go, Iggy.
But LeBron lost.
Yeah, but I'm still, though. Still put up crazy-ass numbers, though.
Trivia fact of the day. There is one player who's won the NBA Finals MVP on the losing team. Do you know that player?
No.
I'm disappointed in you. For all you listening, it's Jerry West.
Okay, so I did know, but I didn't want to say that. It sounds stupid.
Well, now you sound stupid.
Yeah. It's worse.
But LeBron should have been the second one because he was.
It's not even close. Well, it's the same. It's the same kind of token as when
Kawhi won it.
No, I'll go way back. When Johnny Manziel won the Heisman, when it clearly should have went to Manti Te'o.
Yes, because he played quarterback.
And you know how I feel about Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I hate him. But I'm like, that kid, he single-handedly won games on the defensive side of the ball.
Manti Te'o was amazing.
Yeah, like,
only his girlfriend was real.
The only reason Johnny Manziel won the Heisman that year is because he beat Alabama.
And even then,
yeah,
like I think Manti definitely deserved it. And obviously that's a homer in me talking. But,
no, that's me saying it. But you know how I feel about Notre Dame. I hate him.
I definitely don't think I'm a homer. I'm a sports fan.
Yeah.
I like all sports for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I will root for my team.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But he should have won that year. But then the national championship game, I'm in cold sweats just thinking about it.
That was a great game.
But anyway,
can I just say probably the greatest national championship game of all time? It's that, and then the Rose Bowl with the Texas versus USC.
I'll tell you that was another great one. I remember that one. Vince Young was amazing.
That touchdown run made it. Oh my Lord! And I was a huge Reggie Bush fan. Shout outs to the Bush push, the greatest push of all time.
Why are we bringing up all my worst nightmares? Anytime
Notre Dame loses, it's a win for America.
I remember I wasn't when I was a little kid, I wasn't a huge sports fan. I remember my mom was watching a Notre Dame game. I think it was Nebraska when they were good, and Nebraska came to Notre Dame Stadium, and like the whole stadium was red and white, and my mom was like, "Oh, she was mad, cussing up a storm, right?" And I was like, "Mom, it's just a game." She grounded me. She sent me in my room,
as she should have,
and I couldn't watch.
She should have.
Like, she sent me to bed early. Like, no joke. I literally went to bed early that changed everything for me. And so it was no longer just a game. And so
it means more. I mean, granted, I'm sure looking back now, in an outside perspective, you're like, that's ridiculous. But
I get it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a passion. It's something that's serious, and especially to sports fans in general. It's more than sports.
Yeah,
it's more than
it's something to look forward to, and there's family bonding, and like I remember every week I'd make taco dip for everybody, and we'd get like chips and salsa, and everybody watched the game, and it was good stuff. I remember the Bush Push. It was in middle school. We lived in a terrible place, but that's a story for another day. And my mom and I were watching the game, and I thought they stopped him, and I ran outside. I was like, yeah! I'm cheering. Mom was like, no, come back. They gave him the touchdown. I was like, nah, but he cheated. And there's no review, and I was so sad.
I did the same thing but reverse.
Did you? Hey, go ahead and leave, though.
All right.
Don't leave. I need somebody to keep talking.
Corey leaves the chat. No, but anyway, back to the final.
Oh, you're right. We were talking about that.
I feel like it's got to be over, right?
It's over at some point. Now,
I don't want to say, but like KD's not coming back, clearly, because they said he tried to practice. And the thing was, quotes, things he tried didn't work.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And
I think it's a wrap. He's done, and he's never going to play for Golden State again.
I don't know about that.
I do. There's no way.
Because like
you got to pick between him or Clay.
No, you don't.
No, I do think so. I know that it's cap space. That doesn't matter to me. It's more about, I think, from a player standpoint.
So if
you have to make a stance.
So if Klay Thompson comes, let's say they go to Klay first, because Kevin Durant's gonna not be around for a couple weeks after the season or whatever. Let's say
Kevin Durant's gonna give them an opportunity, even if he doesn't want to, even though he's going to New York, because he's gonna go play with Anthony Davis. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now. Anthony Davis plays for the New York Knicks next year. I'm calling it now. They trade him for the third pick, and they take Zion number 1. And then they take RJ Barrett number 3. I'm calling it now. If I'm right, suck it. I'm calling it now.
How about we just reference the podcast? Hey, Corey talked about this in episode 2, the Flexin Nerd podcast.
Yeah, I just remember. Remember it.
You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. At Flexin Nerd. Shameless plug. Anyway,
no.
Full shame.
Full shame. All shame. But yeah. Anyway, back to it.
Cool.
I think if they do it right. They approach Klay first because he was there first.
I agree.
And you say, hey, do you still want to be here? And what would it take to
No, they don't even ask questions. They put the contract on the table.
He's here. I noticed that you see that we left this space empty. This is your salary. You just write a number in there.
I mean, they can only pay us up to a certain amount.
But still, I feel you. Still, though, like...
Give him a blank check.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him the contract, and, like, all of his name's going to be filled out except for, like, S on Thompson or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, you don't have to write your whole name. We got that.
Matter of fact, you know what? Just let me do it. I got it.
Look, can I get your thumbprint? Just put that right there.
Yeah, but I definitely, I don't think KD stays.
Okay, so what if you go to Klay first, you sign Klay.
That's for sure. You also have to pay Draymond.
No, you don't. He's still under contract next year. He's not a free agent. So, wow.
But
I'll mess around and trade Draymond.
How many more years does he have left?
Next year's his last year, I think, on his contract. But also...
But still, so that's on the horizon.
Yeah, but
Draymond is a very important... Of course, so is KD.
But Draymond's the thing, I get it. And especially if you watch the Portland series, he was the driving force. He played out of his mind. Great, that's all good. But most of the season, he wasn't the regular Draymond Green.
Right.
He's turned it on in the playoffs, which is fine, but he doesn't have the luxury like LeBron does. He's not that great of a player. He needs to prove it the whole time.
The whole time, yeah.
And
it can't be sometimes.
I think you could trade Draymond.
What do you get back, though?
Somebody will take him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm like, what would you take back for him?
I don't know.
My only problem is you'd miss him on the defense.
You 100% would.
Because you could stick him on anybody.
But Steph would have to play defense if he was...
Oh, shut up. Anyway. I think KD leaves.
I agree.
Everything, especially from the media standpoint, where they've been separating him this whole time, I feel like KD's of the mindset where... Maybe it's not even the case, but maybe it's like, people don't want me here.
See, and that might be true. And my
nobody wants to play somewhere where they're not wanted.
And that's why I think a lot of the players keep coming out and be like, we need KD to win this title and blah, blah, blah. If everybody other than KD was 100% healthy, which at this late in the season it wouldn't be, they would win.
This series would be totally different if it was 100% Golden State. And that's what we have to focus on. I'm not saying it would just be like a 4-0 dismantling, but I definitely don't think Toronto's up 3-1 if KD's playing, Clay plays the whole time.
And Draymond was and Iggy's hurt, and Boogie Cousins isn't 100%, and I get it, but I don't want, because nobody looks back at the Cleveland team and saying, oh, they only lost because of injuries. Now, some real basketball fans will say, yeah, they only lost because they didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie, but most people are like, well, Golden State just beat LeBron James. They beat LeBron James in 4 trash cans.
Yeah.
So
it's a little better than the team that he dragged there
in 07.
07, yeah.
But I'll say this. This Golden State team in it's current condition could still win a title in most years.
Yeah.
There's too much talent.
You just ran into a juggernaut in Toronto where they've literally... It's a perfect storm.
Yep.
Of Kawhi there. So you have the incentive to try to win, to try to keep him there.
Speaking of
I think Kawhi stays, dog.
Listen, let's talk about DeMar DeRozan's salty ass for a second.
Oh, my Lord. Please. Because I hate him so much.
I don't know if you saw this or not, folks, but DeMar DeRozan came out unprovoked as far as I can tell.
Like somebody... I don't even think anybody asked him a question.
Like he walked by a reporter and was like, hey, I want to talk to you.
Listen to you, by the way. I want to take credit for everything Toronto's doing.
He literally said, I set the groundwork for everything that's going on in Toronto. Now, that might be true, but I think he's got some misremembrance.
Because he doesn't... Yeah.
He got dusted out of the playoffs.
But here's the thing, though. I would be intrigued to see what that team would do now that LeBron's gone. Because that was the whole thing in the East. Well, sure, you can get as far as you can get, but you're going to have to play 23 in Cleveland. Sure. But now that he's gone...
The old Toronto team?
Yeah, like I wonder...
They would have lost to Philadelphia.
I'm not saying that they would have been in the finals, but I am kind of curious as to what that
where
team...
they would have lost? Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, true.
Because the part of the problem was the Raptors back then were rated very highly in defense, but the team is almost identical except they swapped DeMar
for
and Kawhi, and they also got Danny Green, but he's sometimes the 3-point shooter. I'm not counting him. They swapped DeMar and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Who plays defense on Giannis if not Kawhi?
DeMar.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you realize DeMar is like 6'5"?
I did not know that. No.
Or maybe 6'4". He's not very tall, and Giannis is literally 7 foot tall.
But then again, Kawhi is arguably the best defensive player in the league, right?
It's not an argument.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard is the best defensive player in the league.
I sent you that. I tagged you in that video in Facebook. It's this moment when back when the Spurs and the Heat are playing in the finals.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's a camera angle on LeBron.
He's shooting a free throw,
and he looks over and he sees that Kawhi Leonard is
he's checking in the game.
Checking in the game, and you can read the lips, and it's a 4-letter word.
It starts with F.
And he's like,
he goes off, and he shakes his head.
And you're like, so. That pretty much sums it up. When LeBron looks at you, and peak LeBron, not to say he's not, but
that's Miami Heat LeBron.
Yeah, and he looks at him.
He's like, damn it. Like, I don't. Hey, can he go back to the bench, coach?
Take 2 out. What's up?
But yeah, Kawhi Leonard is a monster defender. They are touting him as the best defender since Scottie Pippen.
I haven't heard that. That's pretty.
They're
dope.
saying him. I mean, and obviously Jordan's in the conversation too.
But I feel like there's a lot of other. Like, remember when like Ron Artest was like.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Meta World Peace. Excuse me.
Ron Artest.
Okay. No, Ron Artest was the guy who punched a fan.
You can't change your name and Google it. I bet it still comes up. That's the same you that went up there and punched the wrong guy. Punched the wrong guy.
Dog, listen, have you watched those videos?
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Jermaine, I think it's Jermaine O'Neal comes sliding in and with full blast of...
Anyway, so is it over in 5? Or do you think...
I think...
Do you think they... I think Golden State back against the wall, I think they could probably win one more.
We have glossed over some tragic point here. Can we talk about the fact that if... Let's pretend for a minute that Kevin Durant comes back. If Kevin Durant comes back and leads this comeback, I'm going to delete the NBA from my hard drive. It's not going to be in my memories anymore.
It won't be a part of this podcast.
We're deleting We're not going to talk about it on the podcast. ESPN
they're going to swing so hard from his ego. It's not even funny.
Like, I'm probably going to delete anything to do with the NBA. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not going to... You're going to be like, hey, Corey, what do you think? What's that? There's a National Basketball Association.
That sounds dumb.
That's crazy. I know the girls play.
Yeah, I'll go watch the WNBA. No, I won't, because they'll somehow fit Kevin Durant into that too.
Yeah. Like, this reminds me of when...
And see, the thing that's really going to bug me is they're going to compare it to what LeBron and Kyrie did.
Yep.
And it's not the same for a multitude of reasons, but reason number one being Kevin Durant came back and beat the Toronto Raptors, who are a decent team. LeBron came back and beat the 73-win Warriors, who were one game away from being the greatest team of all time.
Yep.
And you
literally throw those 73-9 team and you put them against the Bulls.
And you can argue and say the Bulls are better and say they would win. I agree. I think they would win. But what I'm saying
is... What era, though?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Because you were allowed to play defense in the 90s. You can't even.
Lance
Stevenson almost got teched out for blowing in LeBron's ear. Come on.
Listen, no, shut up. What I'm saying is, Jordan can play in any era.
Oh, for sure.
And he can defend in any era.
Oh, so Scottie Pippen?
Okay, so I think even in today, the Bulls would beat those Warriors. My point is that there are
what Jordan would be like nowadays?
I don't want. There's so much room.
It makes me want to cry.
Anyway,
that's what 2K's for.
Anyway, go ahead. You're darn right. What I'm saying is, there are people who would tout that 73-win team, if they win the title, as the greatest team of all time.
Oh no,
especially millennials, because that's all they know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, first that is the current era best team of all time.
Oh, by far.
Because and even then, me and you can't really fully comprehend.
Right. We only got like this.
I remember them winning the title.
I remember my aunt and my mom woke me up to watch Jordan win his last one. And I remember vaguely confetti, and I'm like, Mom, I'm tired. Like, what are you doing? What the hell? She's like, but it's history. I'm like, but I'm like 6.
Mom, I don't even know who that bald guy is.
So,
and now we still talk about him.
To this day. Anyway, so LeBron came back against potentially the greatest team of all time. If Kevin Durant comes back from injury and leads this team back, yes, it's great.
It's going to be impressive, no matter what you put it as.
I'm going to hate
coming back from down 3-1 is impressive, no matter who it's against.
Yes,
but I don't want to hear it.
No, I don't
want to hear all these people, all these commentators who've literally been separating these two for the longest time, and all of a sudden now you're going to try to combine them. Stop playing both sides of the fence. Pick one or the other.
A friend of mine, Jonathan, we were talking about if Kevin Durant comes back, how we're not going to watch the NBA anymore, and he texted me and said, I'm going to ride around with a carton of eggs in my car, and anybody wearing a Kevin Durant jersey, I'm throwing eggs at. And I was like, you know what? I'm with you on that. I will.
Me and him were talking about it too, and it's the same thing. If he comes back, I don't want to hear it because that's all everyone's going to want to talk about, and it's going to be so dumb.
But what if he comes back? And
I don't think he does.
They get back. He's not.
You know what? Actually, I know he's not coming back. He's not.
All right, I agree. I'm not going to argue. I don't think he's coming back either.
If he doesn't come back for Game 5, don't bother coming back. Because if you don't come back for Game 5, there's no sense in coming back for Game 6 or Game 7.
By the time we record again, it's going to be over.
Yeah.
I want to be celebrating the Toronto Raptors. I'm going to learn. We're going to start the podcast with "Oh Canada," except I don't know if we can do that. We might get taken down for copyrights.
We could sing it for a second.
Yeah, we'll sing
just say "Oh Canada."
Oh Canada. We'll get a Toronto Raptors jersey.
Just know that there'll be a maple leaf somewhere in here.
I'll put a maple leaf on the podcast photo if they win. Anyway,
and like you said last week, everyone wants to see you climb that mountain, but they don't want you to see you stay. And it's not so much that; it's just so tired of hearing about Golden State Warriors. It's the same thing as when college football comes around. Alabama this, Alabama that, Alabama this. It's like
I have a weird thing. I don't like Alabama, obviously. I hate the Golden State Warriors. I hate New England. But I do like to see things that have never been done before. And in 2007, when the Patriots were going undefeated, I was actually cheering for them to win that Super Bowl.
It's the only one of the few times I rooted for Eli Manning in my life.
Because I was like, that would be so cool. To say that I saw...
It sucked because I was a huge Randy Moss fan and I wanted him to win a title. But that also meant that Tom Brady got another ring, which a lot of good that did because he's won 18 more. But speaking of which, have you seen the video of him driving around with all his rings on? I want to punch him in his face.
I hate that man.
Boston
so
as a town just could blow up, and I wouldn't. That's not true.
R.I.P. Boston Marathon, dude.
Yeah, that's not true.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah, cut. The fan base, from everything I've heard, the Boston fan base in Boston.
Folks, I would just like to segue into he's a New York Yankees fan. So this is bullshit.
No, listen.
This is why you hate them.
Well, how many times have you heard people that have played in Fenway say they get shouted racial slurs?
Yeah, but Boston's the land of the freedom or something, right?
Doesn't give him a freaking excuse. Doesn't give him an excuse. Just get out of here with your Boston. Get out of here. Anyway,
that was a really good Boston accent.
Okay,
there's something else I want to talk. So we both think the Raptors are going to win. If not next game, Game 6.
They win in. Yeah, there's no way.
They're going to win the series.
Kawhi's not going to allow that team to lose 3 games straight.
But can we talk about the narrative on Kawhi if they come back and
I heard Colin Cowherd. Speaking of, I know you brought him up earlier.
I do enjoy.
He said because I was watching him like a little video. I do too, and I love him.
He's like a prick sometimes, but I get it.
I like it. He said that win or lose, Kawhi has an out.
Correct.
And that's crazy.
If he wins, I came,
I did my thing, and I left. And then he loses. He's like, well,
I had to carry the team, and I'll just have to do the same thing next year.
That's crazy.
It's a great scenario for him.
Yeah.
I think he stays, though.
You have to. And then you're the king of Canada.
Dog, literally, they have.
You take the crown from Drake and you put it on your head and you walk around, and then everyone just kisses your feet.
They have this thing called Kawaiian Dine, and if he stays, he will not buy food in Canada. No. He will be able to go wherever he wants and get free food.
He can literally walk into anybody's house, take what he wants, and then leave. Like, it doesn't matter.
I'm
telling you, he's the king of Canada, except for where's the French part?
Quebec.
Yeah. Because they don't like America's.
So do you think Canada wanted to get rid of Justin Bieber too?
Probably.
That's fair.
But they wanted to keep Jim Carrey.
Speaking of Cowherd, real quick. Speaking of which, real quick. Speaking of Cowherd, did you see his beef with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham this summer?
No.
So because Colin Cowherd put up a list of the top 10 Odell moments.
Okay.
Outside of his catch, and all of them were bullshit, like him pissing on the goalpost and all of his marrying the kicking net and stuff. And Baker and Odell tweeted at him and were cussing out like, really, he's a young player and he's doing it was clearly a joke. And I thought it was funny, but and he is such an over dramatic piece of shit, dog. Colin Cowherd, the next day on his show, he's all melodramatic, like, I was just making a point and I felt attacked. And he's like, I had a hard time sleeping last night because of all the aggression. I was like, dude, stop it. I know it's a TV show, but stop it. Anyway, if you enjoy smarmy older guys who kind of make a lot of sense, go listen to Colin Cowherd. I think he's really funny. We both think. I'm trying to transition into the next thing here. I know you don't know a whole lot about boxing. I don't know a whole lot about boxing, but I do know.
It's not that I don't know about it. I just.
We're going to talk about you in a minute, by the way. I got more for you coming.
Oh, here we go.
There was a world title fight last weekend between Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a Mexican, little pudgy-looking guy.
The chunky, funky Mexican is what I like to call him.
Funky, chunky guy. Butterbean, I've heard a lot of stuff. And the guy he fought, Anthony Joshua, literally looks like Black Superman. He's...
Wilder, but all right.
Wilder is not cut like Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
Anthony Joshua looks.
You know what Wilder does that he doesn't do?
Listen, hey, we'll talk more about that in this. Again, he doesn't know a lot about boxing, but
I know Wilder when I you know what I mean.
So, Andy Ruiz KO'd Anthony Joshua in the 7th round, and he's the first ever Mexican world heavyweight champion.
Congrats,
which
by
is
the way.
Huge props to you. I don't care what you look like, he can fight, and I think he put up a really good match.
Bro.
Mad props to him. But what surprised me the most is if you go back and watch the fight, at the end, when they're presenting him the belt and they're announcing him the winner, Anthony Joshua comes in and he's like, hey, hell of a fight, good job, you did the darn thing, and I'm super happy for you. Hopefully we can meet up again and do this one more time, but congrats to you, enjoy it. And he was a huge stand-up guy, and you don't see that a lot from people, not only like competitors, but real people. They aren't super nice when they lose,
humble, yeah.
And he was so humble, and after I watched his press conference, and his trainers and his promoters were like, dude, you got KO'd. Like, you don't have to do this. And he's like, no, I want to go out. And he went out and he sat for like 15 minutes and answered questions. And he was nice. He was humble. He's like, look, I lost. I came out and I wasn't the better man tonight, but I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to look forward. And I really respect the way he handled himself after losing something he'd worked so hard for. I think a lot of people can go back and look to him as a role model, and this is how you should be as a sports person. You shouldn't be the asshole when you lose. You can be a stand-up guy, and I really respect him for that.
Be an asshole before the fight.
Yes.
I get it, but don't be an asshole after the fight. Dude beat you fair and square. He didn't cheat.
Mm-hmm. And he's talking about, Joshua was talking about he's starting charities in Africa because he's actually from Africa. He's opening up charities there. He's a really stand-up guy. I think, I wouldn't say I'm a fan, because, and you do the, what is it called, where you form an opinion of somebody, and I'd heard Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder talk shit about this dude for the last year, about he's ducking me and this and that, and you know what?
Maybe he is, but who cares?
I got nothing good but good to say about him. So, speaking of boxing, my friend here, all of you out in Sportsland, maybe you've heard of this little movie, I don't know, it's kind of important, Rocky? My friend here has never seen any of the Rocky movies. Go ahead and explain yourself.
Nobody wants to watch a loser from Philly.
Yeah, leave all your hate comments in the comments below on Facebook. Go ahead and comment on Twitter.
I'll argue with you until my face is blue.
He has never seen Rocket League. He said it's stupid. He says, "Who wants to watch?"
Look, I don't want to see somebody lose. If I want to watch that,
it's not about the winning and the losing. It's about the journey.
It's about the journey. Who cares? We get it. Eating raw eggs. Cool story, bro. Tell me more when you win them fight.
Guys, listen.
Did he win? Does he win in the first? And there's no way he should have beat the Russian dude either. By the way.
Yeah, the Russian dude, Ivan Drago.
Whatever.
If he does,
Dolph Lundgren. How about that?
I will break him.
Yeah,
like, come on.
He should have beat him. And then what did he? Was in the third one? He was Hulk Hogan.
But no, it's Doc. But it's Rocky. Like
who cares
it's
Rocky?
It's a classic movie.
It's classically ridiculous. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. You also know Sylvester Stallone did a porno, right? So I can't take him seriously.
Listen, folks. You know what? I was gonna put my phone number out. Hey, if you're listening and you have my phone number, go ahead and text me. I will forward your messages to him about how dumb he is being. Rocky is an all-time classic. Shut your mouth, sir.
No.
All right. Anyway, I'm so sorry.
Rocky sucks.
Okay. Anyway, after that blasphemy.
No.
What our topic? I guess I should.
No. There's something I want to talk about real quick. No, it's not nothing bad. There's two things. One, if Vince Carter plays a game in 2020, he'll be the first player to ever play in 4 separate decades.
You mean you have that correct and you wrong. He will also be the only player to ever dunk in 4 different decades.
Well, if he dunks in 2020.
Yeah, if he dunks in 2020, he'll be the only player to dunk.
His old buns better get up there.
Don't call him buns, dog. He's a grown-ass man.
Buns? Get your ass up there.
There you go. Good for Vince. He said he's going to come back and run it one more time. Good for him.
VC, dog. He's arguably the greatest dunker of all time.
Yeah, most definitely in the conversation. In-game.
In-game.
And not in-game. That dunk contest in 2000 was amazing.
Yeah, they should have stopped doing the dunk contest after
Okay, speaking of stop. Okay, after that. Anyway, listen. Yeah. So Paul Pierce, who's usually a terrible hot take artist, he is so terrible. He said Boston was going to destroy.
Better than Dwayne Wade. Get the fuck out of here.
He did say he was better than Dwayne Wade, which is again blasphemy. Anywho, he said he had a cool idea for the dunk contest, and he was talking to Adam Silver. He said, for the dunk contest this year, we get 3 NBA dunkers and 3 YouTube dunkers.
Okay.
And we have them dunk it out.
So that white dude's going to win, right?
Jordan Kilgannon. Jordan Kilgannon. If you haven't seen him, look it up. That dude is amazing. But he said we get 3 NBA dunkers, 3 YouTube dunkers, and we have them dunk and see who wins. And you have the vote go to online voting. And he's like,
you gotta do something, right? Because I can't remember the last time I watched the dunk contest.
Listen, folks, tune in the dunk contest this year because Zion Williamson is going to be in that, and I'm going to watch it.
I mean, what more can you do? The last one that was entertaining was Levine versus Gordon.
Both of those were good.
And other than that, who even won this year?
Yeah, you're right.
I'll wait.
But I don't. Listen, I know a lot of garbage stats, but I don't know that. So I agree.
It's like the 3-point contest is at least intriguing because you get all the best shooters and you just battle it out. Yeah. Who won this year?
You're right.
Exactly.
It wasn't Steph or Clay.
It was a white dude.
It was the guy from the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Johnson.
No,
Joe Ingles. Joe.
No, that dude plays for the Jazz.
It's Joe somebody. I guarantee you that. Anyway,
why is that? Why is it? Because it's a white guy. His name is Joe.
No, because he plays.
Yeah, because he looked
Joe
like
Harris.
Joe.
Joe Harris.
No, maybe.
Yeah, it might be Joe Harris.
It's somebody.
Dog, we have Google.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm going to Google 2019.
So and also let's we've been talking. It's been pretty basketball heavy, right? Let's talk about football.
Yes.
Carson Wentz got paid.
Oh, okay. Listen,
overpaid.
He got guaranteed $107
What's he done?
Million. Okay.
What's he done?
So listen.
No. What's he done?
He has a lot of potential.
No. What's he done?
He almost.
You can't pay somebody off of potential. What's he done?
Listen, here's why.
His Super Bowl ring is Nick Foles.
I have no comment to that. I apologize. Listen, here's the thing. I've heard a lot. I am in the same boat as you. There is no way on God's green earth I'm paying Carson Wentz until I have to. And even then, I got a franchise tag because he's got a fucking prove, pardon my French, that he can stay healthy. Because he can't.
The way he plays the game.
Listen.
It's like Mike Vick back
in college. He had a stress fracture in his back, which he re-aggravated as a rookie. He broke his wrist. In the NFL, he has a knee. He has a back. He is not capable, or he might not be capable of finishing a season, and he needs to prove that shit before I pay him over $100. And
it's too late now.
The life of his contract, he will make $154 million. He got more guaranteed money than Super Bowl MVP winner Russell Wilson, who's gone to 2 Super Bowls, maybe 3?
No, 2.
2 Super Bowls. Come on.
He also threw a pick on the 1-yard line.
Because his coach is an asshole and didn't want to give the ball.
Who doesn't give the ball beast mode?
Hey. I agree, sir.
Obviously hindsight is 20/20, but Jesus. And it was third down, right? You had one more down.
It was first down.
Oh, well, it's even worse. Anyway, so here's what I'm thinking. How long before the Eagles regret paying him? I'll give him 3 years.
Joe Harris. It was Joe Harris for the Nets,
by
the way.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, listen. It's not, but here's why they won't regret it.
Is it because he caught that touchdown, the Philly special touchdown?
That was Nick Foles.
But I'm saying, though, like, what?
What are you talking about?
What do you pay him for?
What did you pay who for? Carson
Wentz. I don't understand.
Okay, listen. If you pay Carson Wentz now,
then they did the Philly special this year, right?
No.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, in the Super Bowl.
No, I'm talking about they did it again this year.
Yeah, I don't care.
But I'm saying what? Because he's got better hands than Tom Brady.
Guys,
what are you paying him for?
Guys, listen, he's being dumb.
I'm stretching. I'm stretching. What do you pay him for?
I'm gonna explain it to you if you just shut up for a second.
I'm listening.
Okay, listen. So they pay him now because let's say in a hypothetical world he stays healthy and they win a Super Bowl or something next year. The cap and stuff goes up, and so they would have to guarantee him like 150. The longer you wait to pay him, the more you actually have to pay him.
Okay.
So they pay him ahead of time so that in the future, when he's not taking up as much as the cap grows, he doesn't take up as much. So I see the logic there.
Yeah.
Also, here's what else it does, and I think it was Shannon Sharp, maybe on Undisputed. Somebody made a really good point. You pay him now because guess who's in a contract year? Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott has basically better stats. He's won more playoff games. He has better completion percentage, all that garbage than Carson Wentz, and he's never missed a game. So Dak Prescott and his agent can go and they're like, look, you have to give us $30 million now because Carson Wentz got it, and we're better than him. And that hampers the Cowboys because they can't pay all their defensive stars. Zeke comes up next year. They can't pay all the receivers. If they give Dak all that money, you screw the Cowboys up. So really, it's kind of a nice move. So I wouldn't do it.
What do the Cowboys need to win a Super Bowl?
A better coach?
Yeah.
In my opinion, Jason Garrett's holding them back.
And get rid of Jerry Jones. Not even get rid of him.
No.
Pull some of the power away from him.
Who runs the team?
You hire somebody.
Stephen Jones. It's not Jerry. Stephen Jones is the one who talked his dad off from drafting Johnny Manziel all those years ago. Because he was going to take Johnny Manziel at 16 or 12 or whatever it was. Yeah. And his son's like, no, we're taking Zach Martin from Notre Dame. And he was like, no, he's like, no, Dad, sit your old ass down. They drafted Zach Martin, and for like 7 years in a row, they had the best offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah, and 0 championships. A lot of good
because their coach is garbage.
It's true, and
he calls the basic offense. His quarterback might not be the
fanciest.
Yeah, he's not Carson. Again, he's not Carson Wentz. He can't throw the ball country mile. He can't do all the fancy stuff. But you know what he does? Completes passes and wins games. Third down, you can get a first down with running. He can throw the ball. He's completed like 65% of his passes. You've got Zeke,
and now he's finally got a receiver to throw the ball to. No disrespect to Des Bryant.
He was good for a couple
of years. But he
gets
hurt.
Yeah, and at the end of his career, he wasn't very good.
Now you got Amari Cooper who balled out.
Amari Cooper, you got Randall Cobb and Michael Gallup. They've got a lot of good young pieces now. I think this is the year Dak can really show you what he can do. And I think they have the potential to win a Super Bowl. They have the amount of talent to win a Super Bowl. I think Jason Garrett is not a good coach. I just don't.
He's not. Yeah, and I don't like the fact that the only reason he sticks around is because Jerry Jones likes him.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But that's where you're having a problem, is because Jerry Jones. Well, and actually, I heard a rumor last year that Jerry Jones had a list of 5 names written down on a piece of paper that he was going to fire Jason Garrett and hire these guys. But since they made the playoffs, he gave him another year.
Okay, so what? In that division, though,
yeah,
like the Giants and the Redskins are imploding. So all you have to do is compete with the Eagles.
Listen, Speaking of the Giants, we will probably have a draft podcast where we cover a couple things on the draft. I'm
so excited to cover
NFL.
NBA free agency.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun. But
that's gonna be like a 14-hour long podcast.
We could talk about that for days. But the Giants, we will cover the draft when it goes closer to NFL season. But the Giants at number 6 overall drafted Daniel Jones, a quarterback from Duke, the powerhouse football school that it is.
I don't like that pick at all.
Anyway, I watched some. I know it's training camp, but I watched some training camp highlights of him. He doesn't look. He looks like he could play.
Yeah, it's training camp.
I know it upsets me that I even said it, but
like Haskins looked good in his pro day, and he fell how far?
Yeah, but he fell because the Giants made the wrong pick.
They're racist, right?
They've had one starting quarterback who's been African American in their entire history. Now, I will preface this by saying I think the Chicago Bears are a little racist too because they've also only had one black quarterback in their entire history. So that's sad.
I mean, I understand the whole Peyton Manning connection and all that with taking Daniel Jones.
So we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do.
But
are we gonna talk about Daniel Jones for a minute?
We can talk about Daniel Jones.
So listen, I heard this really funny thing that says Daniel Jones looks like who you would hire to play Eli Manning in a Peyton Manning biography. Yeah.
I like that.
Which I thought was funny. Listen, so the reason the Giants drafted Daniel Jones' college head coach was Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's head coach. Somehow he's coached all of them. And he walks like Eli, he talks like Eli, he moves in the pocket like Eli. They drafted somebody who they were comfortable with, thinking he's gonna be Eli Manning. And I think you've tied yourself too much to one dude.
Yeah.
Eli's gonna, unfortunately, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but he's gonna be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, out of the three, out of him, Rivers, and Roethlisberger, he has the biggest resume to go to the Hall of Fame. Phillip Rivers isn't going to make a Hall of Fame, and if he does, so. I don't think he should.
Phillip Rivers should be banned from the Hall of Fame because the way he throws the football.
He's got an ugly throwing style.
But we can't talk shit because he's in the NFL.
True.
Also,
where am I at?
Phillip Rivers has 18,000 kids.
Get a vasectomy.
Well, I mean, but really he can afford it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, then you don't want to talk about Ben Roethlisberger because then I wouldn't be comfortable in a bathroom with him. But anyway, I refuse to let that go. Anyway, so. My biggest thing is, it's like, I'm not going to draft a guy. This isn't the 90s anymore. You don't draft a guy and let him sit for 3 years.
Eli Manning is not going to be around for 3 years. They only said that because they love Eli.
Yeah, and they're going to let Eli play as long as Eli wants to play. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to keep cashing checks, I'm going to play as long as you want me to.
Yeah.
Or as long as you let me, I should say.
But anyway,
they should have gave up on Eli 2 years ago.
How did we get on this subject?
Because we started talking about how trash the Giants are.
The Giants are really
because
bad,
they traded Odell Beckham Jr. for a trash can.
Hey, don't talk about Jabril Peppers like that, Doc.
Tell me what position he plays.
Safety.
Yeah, okay. Does he do it well?
Better than most?
No, I doubt it.
He's in the NFL, so he does it better than every other college player in the NFL.
You can't come into the NFL and you don't even have a real position. He played linebacker in college. He played running back and
safety and punt return and kick return.
You know what that tells me? That you're a jack of all trades because you don't have a real position.
Or because but that's fine.
There's a reason why the Browns traded him.
Versatility is, because they could get Odell Beckham.
No. I'm saying he probably wasn't even a part of the trade, and then they were like, "Hey, we got this guy we don't want."
No, they were like, "Hey,
I see. Like you saw Landon Collins walk. How about we give you this guy?"
Hey, guy, listen. Can we talk about the Browns have Odell Beckham Jr.?
I like what Keith Talib said. The Browns look amazing on paper.
Yeah, you got to put together.
Let's see what they look like on week 1.
Sorry about that. I heard a kid. Anyway, we were talking about Daniel Jones. He's trash.
Who else did they take in that draft?
No,
screw that. Since we were talking about draft, can we talk about the goose egg that the Raiders laid? I mean, granted, we
can't do this now.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll dedicate a podcast to the draft. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about this after the Super Bowl next year. That way we give them a full year.
Of the Browns?
No, the Raiders. No, just in general, this draft class. I don't think you can't really judge them during the year.
We can talk about what we think and stuff. We'll talk about the NFL season in a couple weeks or something when the NBA is over and before free agency.
In the first round, and
they're not all bad. Shut up.
They are. Anyway,
God. Anyway, so I should have titled this. We should have had a thing. The podcast we were gonna do was our top 5 favorite sporting moments in history that you could go back in time and see.
Which I did post. It's posted on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you want to comment,
That's on Twitter too. If you could go back in time and see any sporting event in history, what would you go back and see? We got a list. I got 5.
But we didn't really talk about them, so some of ours might overlap.
They might overlap, which is
I did
fine.
try to pick different ones, because I know we've talked about this a lot. I did try to pick different ones that way we can have a little variance in our...
Sure.
In our
I think I have a couple... So after I made my list of my top 5 that I'm going to go back and see, I noticed almost all of them are basketball, and it's not... And I racked my brain trying to find some football ones, and I have a couple honorable mentions that I think could go up there, but I had a hard time finding any great football moment. Like, I was thinking, like, don't want to go back and watch the Bears win the Super Bowl, but it was 13-3. Like, it wasn't an exciting game. I thought about going back and watching, like, the Giants beat the Patriots, but it's like, I watched it live, and
I watched it live, yeah.
It didn't have the same impact because none of my teams were in it. We'll talk about that, but...
So, we do have to talk about, because we were talking about, like, the way to rank them. And we kind of have a difference. Difference in view.
This doesn't make any sense.
So I did mine chronologically, where I went back in time as far as I was going to go, and then from there I would leap forward. And my mentality was, I have one that's in my life, one that's in my lifetime that I would know. So if I missed, say, I know your argument was that if you could only do 4, that if I missed this last one, I was alive for it. So it wouldn't really hurt my feelings any.
And so I get that thought process, but being there and in the moment, matters a lot.
Mine, that's just the way I looked at it.
I guess whatever. I didn't actually, looking at this list right now, it's not in order. I'll put it in an order, I guess, if it really matters. I guess we'll give it a top 5. I'll put it in order. But we'll start with number 5. If you could do it in a time machine and go back into any moment in history, what would you go? What sporting event would you see?
I would go back. My first one would be October 1st, 1932, Game 3 of the World Series, 5th inning. It's when Babe Ruth called a shot. Just because it's such an iconic moment, I want to know if he really did it.
Right, there is controversy on whether he actually called his shot or not.
It's the Babe.
I feel you on that. Was he traded the Yankees?
Yeah, it was the Yankees, and he literally just pointed out to center field, and then on the next pitch,
hit it out to center field,
right to where he pointed it. And it was out of Wrigley.
It's a hell of a shot.
I mean, straight center field.
You know what? That actually crossed my mind while I was thinking about this. Yeah, Babe Ruth calling a shot. I don't care about baseball like that, but I can see why. That's a moment. I mean,
come on, sure. I need to know. Plus, it's Babe Ruth.
So for me, my number 5, and I think I'll leave this at number 5, was Usain Bolt in 2009 setting the world records for the 100 and 200 in the same meet. He ran, I think it was like 9.58 in the 100 and 19.19 in the 200.
See, there's something else, like track and field, it's not something, but at the same time, that is fast.
But it's literally, because the year before, everybody's like, how fast could he run? Because in the 100, he showboated the last like 5.5 meters or something. They were like, how fast could he run if he pushed through the line? And this time he did it, and I love track and field. It was one of the only things I was halfway decent at. Right. And I love me some track and field. And so I could definitely go back in time and see that. That would be really cool to me. I would be so hyped.
So my number 2 would be Wilt's 100-point game.
I have March that 2nd, on my list. I have that on my list. That would be my number 4.
That fits in with my first one. I want to see if he really did it.
I want to
see how he did it.
Yep. I want to have my own scorecard, and I want to count up his buckets and see if he actually got 100. Because some people aren't sure. They gave him 100, and you know how he did it. He stood in the lane and didn't move for.
They threw him the ball. Yeah, one of the 2 7-footers at the time. Go on.
I would love to see that. That would be really cool.
Sure.
So, I'll just go to my number 3 then. My number 3 is Michael Jordan putting up 63 against Boston in the playoffs.
That's the one where
Larry Bird after the game said that was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Now, I know he lost, but to see him do that, and
63 in a playoff game.
Yep,
that's still the record, right?
Still the record, yeah.
And on the road, in the Garden.
In the Garden. That would be so cool to see. Speaking of playoff records, Steph Curry set a record for the second most points ever in an NBA Finals game in a loss with 47. Who was that guy at number 1?
LeBron at 51.
Yeah, 51 in a loss because...
But what'd you say, though? Say it again. Say it slowly.
In a loss?
There you go. Stats don't matter in a loss.
They don't matter. That's interesting. Ask J.R. Smith how they lost that game.
Is that the game?
Yeah. He wasted that.
So here's what happened.
J.R. Smith wasted that.
So here's what happens after the game, right? somebody put JR in chokehold, right?
Yeah, it was LeBron.
Yeah, absolutely.
He broke his hand punching J.R. Smith in the face.
Yeah, it wasn't no board he punched. That was JR.
He punched JR in the freaking face. Anyway, I would love to see Jordan go back and score 63 in the Garden.
Okay, so my third one is October 1st, 1975. Thrilla in Manila.
Oh.
I want to see Muhammad Ali go and get Joe Louis.
Ali
just because, how do you not have Muhammad Ali on your list?
I actually don't.
But I have to, just because when I think of boxers, that's who I think of. That's who
absolutely.
you think of.
I don't fault that pick at all.
Can you believe it's already been 3 years since he's passed away?
Hashtag RIP Harambe.
So I watched. I don't remember what I don't remember what birthday it was, but one of his he was elderly and he had Parkinson's.
Yep.
And it was on ESPN, and he was punching a speed bag, and he still had the pop. And I was like, that is crazy. It's like Tyson recently.
Last year. I think it was last summer.
Still could body somebody.
He was doing his shadow boxing for some guys, and at 50 whatever years old. Scary, man.
This is still scary, man.
Number 2. Where am I at? Number 2. How do I want to do this? I'm going to go with number 2 is the greatest game nobody ever saw, the Dream Team practice.
Dream Team? I wanted to put them on my list, but I was like, I know you're going to do it.
Because that's the moment, according to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that Jordan was the new guy in town.
Yeah.
And they go back, so their coach was mad at them. Because they weren't competing and they were being lazy and they were drinking and partying and stuff and they weren't taking it seriously. And so what he did was he split up Jordan, Pippen. I don't remember exactly how the teams were set up, but he had Jordan, Pippen on one team. He had Bird and Magic and like Clyde.
Bird was on
Jordan's. No,
Jordan's team.
But he wasn't playing either way. His back was
hurt.
But he had like Clyde and Patrick and Charles Barkley on the other team, and Magic and Jordan were going back and forth. And Jordan goes in after he wins, and Jordan was like, Magic wanted to keep going, but the coach had to call the practice because we were getting a little serious. And after the practice, Jordan goes into the locker room and goes, "So I guess there's a new sheriff in town, huh?" And Magic and Bird look at each other like, "I guess he's kind of right."
I mean,
so I would love to see that.
That is one of those. Yeah, that is definitely. If I had an honorable mentions, I know we talked about this. That I said I literally didn't throw that on my list because I knew you were going to have it. But that is one that always comes to my mind. Is that one? That's the greatest game no one ever saw.
I would love to see that. Bro. That would be so cool.
The last Super Bowl that the 49ers won, that's my one, just because Steve Young,
sure,
Deion Sanders, the only year he played for the 49ers. I mean, just obviously.
But was it a good game? Was it worth seeing?
It was a blowout. But it just because it literally just meant getting the proverbial monkey off Steve Young's back of the whole Joe Montana shadow and all that. Like what it meant for him personally, because he's still one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time.
Did he win only one?
He only won one, yeah. That was back when you, like we talked about last week, if you wanted a Super Bowl, you signed Deion Sanders.
Yeah, you had to get Deion. I feel you. I understand wanting to go see your favorite team win a Super Bowl, but for me, I was trying to think of moments of.
Yeah, but I was going more like personal moments.
For sure, absolutely. I'm not mad at you.
Because the last one's. No, you'll see.
My number one that I would go back in time and see is Game 7, 2015 Cavs versus Warriors.
I knew that was going to be your game.
I want to see...
To be in the crowd when he blocks that shot.
I would go bananas. And it was... Because I watched that game. But to be in Oracle...
No. To be in the stadium when the block would be crazy. To be in the stadium when the block and then Kyrie goes down and hits that shot... You'd be like one of the 3 people in the crowd cheering.
So, funny story. I was dating my current wife at the time. Hey, babe, love you. She was asleep on my lap. Her parents and brother were in the other room watching the game, but they were all asleep, except her brother, I think, was awake. And her Great Dane was on the floor in front of us asleep. And when LeBron blocked the shot, I woke them all up. I was like, "Oh shit, he blocked it! LeBron blocked it!" And she's like, And they're like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, I apologize profusely.
Well, wait. You called me and woke me up.
Yeah,
I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "The Cavs came back," and I was like, "Who are the Cavs?" And I was like, I was asleep.
I was
it was amazing. It was amazing.
And then Kyrie hit the shot. To be there, I might have streaked. I might have just run on the court.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh my god. I got a pic. I had a picture of them. My wife took it down because she didn't want LeBron on the wall. But I had a picture of them winning the thing you got me for. Yeah. There's a picture of like LeBron holding the trophies and stuff. Oh, I would love
that.
To
Might
see
be
that.
one of the best championships I can get witnessed.
Yeah.
That one's got to be up there.
Oh my
just
God.
because of what it meant for the what it meant.
The city of Cleveland
LeBron came back home, and what it meant. It came back from 3-1. And what it meant for that.
Listen,
that team.
I had beef with Stephen A. Smith. He calls it a stimulus package that the NBA gave to the Cavs that year because in Game 4, I think it was
when Draymond got suspended.
Draymond got suspended for Game 5, and Cleveland won Game 5. But see, here's the problem with that.
He came back in 6 and 7.
He played in 6 and 7, and the only.
But they say the momentum, blah blah blah. But
gargle. LeBron and Kyrie both put up 41 points in Game 4, and then LeBron came out and put up 40 more in Game.
It's literally them trying to take it away from him. That's all it is.
It makes me so upset.
It's just that's what Stephen A. does. It's just controversy. It's
I love Stephen A. Smith. I really do. But I got beef on that scenario.
So my last one is the gold medal game for the Redeem Team.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just because, obviously, the name.
The Redeem Team. Because they played bad in 04.
Who was the captain of the Redeem Team? Kobe Bryant.
I was going to do something cool, but you took it from me.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to be like... that'd be Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
I would say, who is Kobe Bryant for 5,000, please?
That's not, I mean, that has something to do with it, but that team...
Oh my god,
squad, bro!
Yeah, but the thing is, like in 04,
yeah,
it was basically the same team.
Was it?
Yeah,
but
LeBron,
it wasn't
Melo.
Yeah, but that
Wade.
wasn't LeBron. That wasn't Melo yet.
Nah,
no,
that was the year after LeBron did his thing in the year after 07.
Yeah,
that's when he kind of came into his own.
When LeBron was it was starting to hit his stride. It's like
the best player,
the king. I think that's yeah.
You know the moment when he scored 25 straight points against the Pistons.
I feel like that team. They compare that team a lot to the Dream Team. I don't know if they could go up against. Yeah, there's a lot of Hall of Famers on that Dream Team.
But for example, Christian Laettner was also on the Dream Team.
You had to have one college player.
Yeah, I know, but Christian Laettner.
Who else you can put on there?
I don't know.
Somebody that's not gonna. They could take up a roster spot that they're not. You
know. Anthony Davis was almost on an Olympic team his freshman year, or his freshman year at Kentucky. Fun fact. I do like that. I like the Redeem Team. I don't know why mine was so basketball heavy. But I have a couple honorable mentions. Just some I thought of off the top of my head. Brett Favre, Monday night after his dad died.
Oh,
He played Monday Night Football against the Raiders. He threw like 4 touchdowns, 350 yards. It was an amazing game, and the emotions and stuff behind that. I would love to have watched that in person. I think that would have been really cool.
Shouts out to my wife. She actually reminded me of a good one. When Jordan won his title on Father's Day.
Oh,
and he was in the locker room,
and he just went into a room and just cried with the trophy.
Yeah,
like a week or two after his dad died or something. Right?
No, it was 3 years, but it was on Father's Day. Yeah, like his dad died in '93, and that title was in '96. But still, on Father's Day, yeah, like what it meant to him.
Yeah. For sure. One of my others was Adrian Peterson in 2007 versus the Chargers. He set the single game rushing record. That game was crazy, by the way. That was also the game, I believe it was Antonio Cromartie took a missed field goal back 109 yards. At the time, it was the longest touchdown.
That was before Ed Reed did the thing, right?
It was way after Ed Reed. It was in 07.
No, it was before Devin Hester. My fault.
After Devin Hester, because Devin Hester was in 06.
My fault, man.
Doug. Just stop.
Yeah, stop.
Anyway, that was a really cool game. Adrian Peterson played for the Vikings, and he cut my heart out on repeated occasions. But to watch him do his thing in that game would have been
He's
so
the modern
cool.
era best running back.
By far.
Like it's him or LT.
I forgot about LT. I liked watching Adrian Peterson play more, so I'll say Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, the thing, he's the closest I think we'll ever get to Walter Payton. Because he could run away from you, but he could also run through you.
And not only could he run through you, he wanted to.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what the Walter Payton. That's what I'm saying.
I loved watching Adrian Peterson play. I know if he was for against the Bears, I wasn't very happy because he did some disgusting.
If he played in any other division,
he might be my favorite player.
Yeah, but because he played in your division, you had to see him twice a year.
It's gross.
He circled the Vikings.
He came back. He came back from ACL surgery
and rushed for 2,000 yards.
2,000, the 7th player to ever do it.
And he would have. I think he would have beat that record if he had known how close he was.
Yeah, I think so too. Great stuff. I love Adrian Peterson. Shout out to my brother-in-law. He reminded me of the 2008 U.S. Open. Tiger Woods won the U.S. Open on like one leg.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
And, I did want to throw a Tiger Woods in there.
I think it went to a playoff, and he won it on like the first hole in the playoff
That's
or something.
Another sport, golf, that I'm not really into, but I respect it.
Yep. Speaking of Tiger Woods, I got another one for you. This year's Masters.
Yeah. Seeing him win again?
Hey, those two go hand in hand. 2008 was the last time he won a major before this one. 11 years he went without winning a major. I'll tell you what, nothing
like... I should show you that sometimes cheating does pay off.
No, it doesn't.
Oh. Sorry.
Anyway, Tiger, I don't watch golf like that.
I don't either.
But I'll watch Tiger.
Yeah, and people that say anything different are full of it.
Like my grandpa would watch golf. He watches golf literally all the time. But I won't stop unless it's Tiger on the TV.
Yeah, but no.
Like Tiger Woods is something else. So I was really happy to see that.
I think it's because he was young when he started.
And really young.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. And I was Jonathan, and you brought him up earlier. I literally brought up pick anybody, a perfect game in baseball.
But see, okay, so
just to witness history like that.
But for me,
not a no-hitter, a perfect game.
How about this
0-0-0.
How about this one? Is it 2009? I can't remember the pitcher's name. Roberto Clemente? No, I know it's not him. But the Tigers pitcher who threw a perfect game.
Andre something.
Yeah, and the ref called the runner Galarraga. Yeah. That's it. So yeah, the
umpire.
He called him safe, but he was clearly out.
The next game that umpire came out, he started crying.
Yeah.
Because he felt so bad because he took it.
But here's the thing:
they're so bang bang. Like you can't expect umpires to be perfect.
Fine. Here's the thing: they had review available. They didn't use it.
They should have used it.
But I think maybe they didn't have it available at the time. But so the very next play was a fly out, and the game was over. You could go back and change that to a perfect game on the last play. Say he was out because he was clearly out, and it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, it's not like they went in and he hit a ball out the park.
Right. It didn't change anything. Literally, the next play, the guy was out. The next pitch, I think the guy was out.
I feel so bad for that guy.
So I think they could have gone back because nothing changed. You could just make it a perfect game, and everybody would have been happier for it. I think.
Are there anything else?
I got
I got an honorable mention that I literally just Kobe's 81-point game.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be kind of good.
If you can't be a Kobe Bryant fan,
there's a few NBA like high scoring games I like to go see. I'd like to go see the week Kobe put up 60 in the Garden, I think, and like 4 days later, LeBron came to the Garden, put up like a 55-point triple double,
double nickel.
Yeah, I would like to see some games like that for sure. My last big one was
LeBron's career high is 60, and he put it in
Miami.
It was against the Knicks, though, right?
No, it's the Charlotte Bobcats, I think. It might have been the Knicks, but I think it was the Bobcats. He was wearing his black mask. It was after he broke his nose, and he wore that carbide black mask. It was so badass.
Why is it when people put that mask on? Kobe killed it with the mask on. LeBron destroyed it with the mask on.
Rip Hamilton always wore a mask.
Kyrie, when he had the mask on?
Yeah, he had a black mask, too. But they made LeBron not wear the mask black, like, the next game. They're like, hey, don't wear that mask black. It's scary. Put on the white one like it was.
Well, it was scary because it gave you superpowers. Stop it.
My last one that I would like to go back to see is another track one. Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics. No, that's not that one. I thought it was. That's not the Black Power one you're thinking of. The 1936 Olympics was when we went to Germany.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When Hitler was in town, and he spoiled all of Hitler's plans.
I do think it's funny how, looking back now, you know, he was talking about the supreme race, the Aryan race, and then Jesse Owens goes in there, drops his pants, and just shits all over everything he's ever thought.
At the time, I think he set the world record in the 100-meter dash on a dirt track barefoot. Like, he did some
Jesse
crazy
Owens
stuff.
Was an animal, man.
I would love to go back and see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be really cool. So
especially just to see the shitty look on Hitler's face when he's just like, what is going on?
It's like on the phone. Hey, I thought it was white people, blonde hair, blue eyes. What is this?
Wait, what's going on? Apparently, they've got something else going on in the United States. What is going on here?
It would be really cool to see that.
Is there anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
Let's do a quick recap. Corey has never seen Rocky. He hates good movies.
Why is this? Why is this just a shit on me fest?
What do you think I made this podcast for?
Yeah, I say a lot of terribly dumb things.
Speaking of shitting on him, remember Amari Stoudemire? That was a terrible decision on your part, and I'm so disappointed in you for that.
Fair enough. But yeah, tell you what, listen.
I'll wait.
I got nothing. My team was terrible. You know what? And I'd like to apologize to our listeners.
Good.
Because looking back now, probably the worst 82-0 team builder of all time, right?
Well, I mean, since I'm sure we're not the only people, but we're the only people on this podcast to do it. So yes, between the two of us, you are the worst.
No, anybody, basketball fans. I put Peja Stojakovic on my team. Like, it's terrible. It's
I didn't even attack Peja Stojakovic because I was so hung up on Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, and like at least Dennis Rodman makes sense.
Now,
but like, yeah, I could have put Karl Malone on. Like you said, all those names.
26.
I thought I was so confident when I slapped him down with like, I was like, yes, Amari's gonna kill it right now. And then like your face told me it all. I was like,
but wait,
oh no,
like
what did I do?
You had Amari Stoudemire, but you didn't have the only person who made him any good.
Steve Nash.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah, but pick and roll. I don't know.
This will be the last week I bring that up, unless
no.
Hey, I also made notes in my podcast here. Every week I write the same note down. One night we were having a discussion.
Oh man!
And only not real sports fans. If you know anything about football. So my friend here, we were talking about greatest, whatever of all time, and we came up on defensive players.
I think we should have that discussion on this podcast.
We absolutely will. But anyway, he was talking about a player named Aldon Smith one time, and he had a great week of football one time.
Oh, he had a great couple years,
shut
man.
Up. Corey said, and I quote, he played like LT. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, LT's a running back. No, I'm talking about Lawrence Taylor, 56 for the Giants, who literally changed football. He said he played like that guy, which is blasphemy of the highest of levels. We're talking about Lawrence Taylor, MVP of the league, not defensive MVP.
Listen, if I haven't already set a precedence for the stupid things that come tumbling out of my mouth by now, it should be already there.
You put Aldon Smith, who you will have to go Google, and he's most known for smoking weed.
No. Finding guns in his bag at the airport, and
he compared that guy to Lawrence Taylor, who invented the left tackle position.
So what's going on with the 49ers and convicts? Because look at Reuben Foster.
They got rid of him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Ray McDonald, like Aldon Smith, like for a while there, we were just pumping them out.
Well, San Francisco area.
So tired of getting Bleacher Reports on my phone talking about somebody else got arrested.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to end it this week. Thank you for listening. Like I said, we've got Facebook, Flexin Nerd Podcast. We've got a Twitter. You can find us on... there's a Buzzsprout as an app. I'm trying to get it up on Google Play, maybe iTunes. It's a lot harder to get it on iTunes, so bear with me on that. Hopefully I can get it on Google Play this week. Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. This has been episode 2, right?
Yeah, episode 2. Please
check the Facebook page for this week's topic. I'll always have a question on there. You want your input?
Something.
Yeah.
Comment, please. Let us know what you like.
Maybe have some topic ideas. Definitely.
Sure.
And definitely cover whatever you want.
And we will maybe mention you in the episode.
For sure.
Again, thanks for listening. It's been a great time, and hopefully we'll see you next week.